What's going on, people? My name's Chopper. Now, today we need to talk about Destiny 2 and how it can become the masterpiece that was advertised to us a couple years back with, the first Destiny. Now, before we dive too deep into this video, what you're going to be seeing, actually, is going to be two gameplays. It's going to be a couple minutes on this map. Now, I'm actually got the demo to get this gameplay for the commentary for you guys, and I just had the demo of this game, so I'm level capped at 7, can't get the best gear and whatnot. And I can only play this playlist of multiplayer of Crucible, so that's kind of what I'm quarantined to. So it's gonna be this for probably a few minutes and swap over to the other gameplay. It's just something for you guys to enjoy while we talk about this. Now, Destiny by itself was not a bad game. There was a lot of mechanics that I really enjoyed, especially like the raid. We're gonna get into that in a second, but this was not overall a bad game. It's just choices were made that really messed this game up, and we're going to talk about how Destiny 2 could become the masterpiece that was advertised to us, because that really, if you've been following Destiny ever since it was like first announced, the trailers and everything, this game looked way different than what we actually got. It looked and described way different, and it was not at all what I expected, and a lot of people were disappointed. That's why a lot of people don't play Destiny anymore. And I helped come up with some changes. This isn't all my changes. Some of them are, some of them aren't. I've got them from other people who have let me use their ideas. And we've kind of all come together and figured out a way to make Destiny 2 the best game that it could possibly be. A couple of things I want to talk about. First is the open world. You guys know the open world in Destiny is kind of a little bit boring. I mean, it's nice looking, and it's a pretty cool place. You can do a lot of, like, you're supposed to be able to do a lot of stuff, but there's not. It gets boring. There's not a whole lot to actually do. It looks like you can do a lot of things, but really what it boils down to is just killing the same enemies that spawn in the same spot and doing missions that have little to no relevance at all. So a couple open world changes that I was able to come up with. There needs to be a lot more meaningful things to do. When you do a patrol mission, that needs to be like when there's a event, like a public event, it needs to be like that kind of thing. That needs to be each patrol mission. It needs to be that intense, and that threat of failure will make the game a lot more fun, especially when you do missions like if you have no chance of dying, then what's the point to even doing it? You know what I mean? It needs to be more intense than just going to a certain area and holding square for a few seconds. You know, it's just, it gets really repetitive and boring, and that really drives people away. If there was more PvE things designed like the raid, I constantly give praise to the raid, because it's like a puzzle platformer while you're still fighting enemies and all that. You gotta constantly make quick decisions on the fly. It's just really cool, and I wish more like game modes, and not really game modes, but game modes and PvE stuff like that really took the raid's complexity. I think that'd be really cool to see. So strike missions, not strike missions, but like patrol missions, all that stuff need to be upscale in their intensity. It needs to be a less repetitive game. Like, this kind of ties back to all that stuff, but all the farming and stuff and just doing the same patrol missions with the same enemies, that really gets boring, drives people away. I mean, there's some people who actually like doing that, and more power to you if you like to do that, but that's just not me. That's not my style of play. I don't like all that repetitious stuff, so if there's more meaningful and fun stuff to do, then that would definitely be good for the open world. Now, this is a long shot, but I thought Sparrow Racing was in Destiny, because you can get upgrades for your Sparrow, but ultimately for what? So you can like beat your fire team to wherever you're getting to like a couple seconds faster, but you're just gonna have to wait for them to arrive anyway. It just doesn't add up. I feel like there was Sparrow Racing, because we know that this game went through some major changes in the very last year, and it just doesn't add up if there's Sparrow upgrades, or you can make it faster and turn better and whatnot, and there's no point to it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I just thought there was Sparrow Racing. I think that it should be in Destiny 2. Now, there was a little idea I had. A couple of my friends were spitballing this idea. If they have like a PvE and PvE world combined, like basically it's like this open world, like wilderness thing, and you only roll with your fire team, and you can do missions, you can fight PvE, characters, stuff like that. But the other guardians, you can fight other people, and when you kill them, you can take their gear. It would add a level. Whatever you take into said world, you could also lose if you die. So it would it would get really intense. Like you would have to fight off other guardians to keep your stuff. If you want to be strapped up and have the best gear, the best chance of winning, then you run that risk of losing that stuff as well. I think that'd be really cool to like try to figure out what you want to bring and what you don't, and also win stuff from other people. Now, Destiny was supposed to be this big social open world, right? That's what they advertised to us, but it didn't really turn out that way. The one way I'd fix that is the tower. When you go to the tower, if you're not in a party, it should automatically go to game chat with everybody else who isn't in a party. It'd be a good way to meet some new friends and talk to people, see what they're up to. If you need like a raid partner or whatever, it just needs to go to game chat, because you literally can't talk to anybody in this game unless you're in a party. And even Call of Duty has like a game chat in the lobby, and that's not really a social game as much as this is supposed to be. So I would definitely fix the tower, make it game chat as soon as you get in if you're not in a party. Also needs to be like more chance for interaction with players. It needs to be like a little quick chat bar like you see in Battlefield, and I've been playing a lot of Rocket League, so it's in that. But there needs to be a little quick chat bar that you can send really quick messages, so it's like safe chat and it's not like being spammed and all that stuff. So yeah, there needs to just be more player interactions overall. And also, I really want to see a player trading system. They can keep the exact same loot system that they have, all randomized and whatnot, and the loot system and the player trading would make perfect sense. And because if you're guaranteed a certain weapon at the end of a raid or whatever, then someone could do that like 100 times and just sell the same gun, and then would no longer become rare. But since it's randomized, that makes perfect sense because no one weapon will get oversaturated. You know what I mean? So if they bring in player trading, then that makes the loot system work absolutely perfectly. I think you'd make a lot of friends that way, and it'd make it an overall more social experience. I feel like, okay, this is where maybe a little bit more controversial stuff comes in, and this is just depending on where you stand on this stuff. I think it should be a more intellectually demanding game. Now, what I mean by that is, in every single mission, what it really boils down to is like go to point A to point B and defend Dinklebot for a little while he downloads some stuff off a computer, opens a door or whatever. That's all it is. Remember, if you guys played Halo, oh my, like the mission with the 2 scarabs, you could take them out any way you want. You could go on the ground, you could take them out aerial. There's just like, I don't know, there isn't a lot of diversity in the story missions in this game. Like it's basically just like a Call of Duty campaign level, which they're kind of immersive, but they just feel like you're watching a movie and then pressing buttons just every so often. I don't know. I would make each mission a little bit more intelligent in terms of its gameplay, and that's why I think this game got a T rating. Now I'm not 100% certain on this, but I feel like they scaled back their content and whatnot to make sure that this got a T rating to get approval by a younger audience. I don't know. I have no hard facts on that. I was just spitballing that, just throwing that out there. Interesting thing to think about. So let me know what you guys think about that. There needs to be a better story, honestly. Like, this story was terrible. We know it got butchered in the last year, but they can definitely fix it in Destiny 2 if they really want to. And the story really crapped on Destiny's reputation. So if they want to fix it, then they definitely have to fix the story in Destiny 2. And the last thing I got for you guys today is no more locked content. If you guys aren't aware of this and you still play Destiny, when the game came out, there was a lot of maps and a lot of content that was locked away on your disc to be resold to you as DLC. It was already on your game, you just couldn't access it. Some people actually were able to glitch into it, interestingly enough, but you were not able to access it unless you bought the DLC. So I feel like that's a whole other commentary on its own if I talk about why they did that. But basically, I just want to bring that up. Just no more locked content. Provide this with more content. There honestly wasn't enough to keep people interested. It looked like there was a lot, but what it really boiled down to was just repetition, doing the same thing over and over again, and that qualified as content. And do you really have fun grinding the same piece of upgrade material or whatever? Like, how much of that stuff is like actually having fun on the game? I would say not very much. So in Destiny 2, if we see less repetition of all that grindy stuff, less repetition, more gameplay variety, and things designed like the raid, like how intricate, and I think that's like actually intellectually demanding rather than the other game modes. So if more design like that, then this is going to be a fantastic game. This could be one of the best games that have ever been made. So make sure you guys, if you guys do want to see this in Destiny 2, make sure you leave a like, and also let me know what you would put in Destiny 2, because I'm interested what you guys have to say. So if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you leave a like, share it, rate it, everything like that. You guys know the drill. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.